this is like so fucking cool how slow-mo quarter speed watching at 1 minute speed, and I've already learned stuff and like gotten new perspective on things I've like never thought about before, and I'm like ranked 2000 right now. That's actually insane. Hi, I'm Victor. I'm an Immortal ranked NA player, around 6,000 MMR currently. I've gained over 1,000 MMR in the last 12 months, and I'm really excited to share something with you all today. Today we're talking about a certain type of replay analysis that some players have used to climb literally thousands of MMR in just like a few short months. And it's probably the most effective way I know of learning and improving. And it's something that I haven't tried before making this video. And I've seen for myself just how awesome it is, so I'm really excited to share it with you. Warning, flat out though, this process is super time consuming. Like, it's super effective, but it's super time consuming. So like, it took me 40 minutes to do the first 3.5 minutes of a replay. And I have that link towards the end of the video, hence this video is so long. But honestly, if you want to be an exception, if you want to be the people who actually improve and don't just, play thousands of hours of Dota and just sit at a 50% win rate, you have to act like an exception. And doing and putting in work to do a replay analysis like this is an example of that kind of effort. So with that out of the way, let's talk about what is this process exactly. Step 1. Find a replay of someone that's better than you. This is easy. Highly recommend checking out Dota2ProTracker.com, where you can see pro level pubs, so 7k MMR plus. You can organize by player, by hero, by lane, whatever, right? Find a replay, preferably of a hero you play, by a player that you like. Step 2, you want to list all their information you know, and then make a prediction about what they're gonna do, or say what you would do in that situation. So, for example, at the start of the game, you'd be like, okay, I'm playing Mirana. These are my starting items. This is who I'm laning with. This is who I'm laning against. I'm taking these starting items because of X, Y, and Z. This is what I want to do for the power rune. This is whether I want to block the hard camp or the small camp, whether I should buy items for that, what I want to do as soon as the creep wave meets. All this information you want to list out and say what you want to do before the game and the replay even starts. You just got to make that prediction. Step 3, you watch and see what they do. If you're on point and what you said and predicted was completely in line with the better player than you, congratulations, you're fantastic. But what you'll find consistently is that they're doing different stuff, like all the fucking time. And that's the important part. If you're wrong, you rewind then 5-10 seconds or whatever. And now that you have the information of what they're gonna do, you look and see, okay, why do they do this? That's it. Rinse and repeat, and there you go. You become a better player. You put yourself like in the shoes and in the mindset of that better player and be like, okay, they're doing this. Why are they doing it? Why is my thinking not in line with this better player? And yeah, that's it. Go ahead, try it out. If you want to see an actual example, like I said, the rest of this video is exactly that. Me going through Aloha Dance playing Mirana. It's actually kind of insane because there's several things that I learned or like thought processes or whatever that I have not taken note of or wasn't aware of that I learned from just like this quick 40-minute thing. And I think that's like so incredible because like, yeah, you spend 40 minutes and just play another game of Dota and go 50-50 win rate or whatever, right? Like statistically, you're gonna like win or lose. Who cares? What are you gonna learn? What are you gonna change but what you do in Dota? Like literally nothing. So we compare like playing one extra game or spending 40, 30, whatever minutes to look at a replay. Honestly, it would take longer if we watched a whole replay. But point aside, like if you take this time aside to watch a replay like this, you will improve. I fucking guarantee it. If you don't, like, there's literally no way in hell that you're doing all the things that these higher rated players are. And yeah, it's just an eye-opening experience. And I hope you find it just as useful as I do. So, I rambled for a bit. The rest of the video, enjoy the replay. So I went to Dota 2 Pro Tracker and I organized by matches, and I just wanted to pick out a person who has a particularly high win rate lately. And I found Aloha Dance has been doing pretty well, and I think he's like 12-0 on Mirana this week. So I wanted to take a look. Quick overview, I saw that his item build is also quite different from what I usually do, so I think this should be rather interesting. So here's the game itself, 31-minute game, 15:38, 5-3 and 16. He's one of the higher rated players in the game. He's ranked 600 EU, so that's incredibly high MMR. I don't know high, but 7k, 8k at this point, who's to say? I don't want to necessarily look at item builds here. We did see it at the high level, but we're going to try to figure out how to justify that. And we're just going to go right into it. Things we see from the draft. The Sanking Mirana lane. So this is kind of a classic duo. Easy stun into stun. A lot of different damage. I'm going to pause so I don't get too distracted while they do other things. Classic Sanking stun, Mirana arrow. You do a ton of damage. Pretty straightforward. If we look at the rest of the team comp, we have a Windrunner mid. Peel top. So Peel doesn't really want to do anything over the course of the game. He just wants to farm topside, right? Jungle and shit until maybe Diffusal, probably Diffusal Yash at the very least. Rinor is going to be running around trying to get kills, but not really until he gets Javelin, maybe Maelstrom. We have team comp. We're likely, it's Sven carry, almost guaranteed, right? Clockwork 4, you really don't see this here on any other role. It's probably Winter 5, Lesh 2, Venge 3. Venge and Lesh could be swapped. Winter could be mid, but that's kind of dead after the talent changes. So most likely it's Sven plus Winter in spawn lane, or Sven plus Venge. The common place between Winter and Venge, the both of them have kind of shit base damage. Mirana's also not great, but you have really decent animation attack range. So I guess that leans us more towards wanting to take these trades and force these trades, because whenever Winter doesn't have her Q up, if we're just standing and right-clicking each other, Mirana's going to win out. So I think some items to help with that. So we have a Branch, Circlet, and Fairy Fire. Sage's Mask to go towards the Urn and the Urn upgrade, because we're playing, again, versus Winter Wyvern. So Winter Wyvern, biggest part is having like Holy Locket and the heal on her E. So we want someone to making the Spirit Vessel if convenient. If this was a core, maybe you'd want a core to build it, but none of the other heroes really want to build it. So starting with Sage's Mask makes sense. The other option could have been Ring of Protection if we feared that the Venge was the 5, because then she's going to be using her Wave of Terror to trade more efficiently, and having the bonus armor would be nice. Otherwise, the more greedy choice is Sage's Mask, and we're going to be able to use more arrows. And considering we're a Sanking Mirana lane, I think that makes the most sense. Only 3 set of tangos. Ward Sentry. If I had to guess, you probably fly out another set of regen. I think one set of regen is never going to be enough, unless they get some kills and snowball the lane, and they can get the Urn, in which case she has a secondary source of HP using regen that way. Else, I'd probably otherwise, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna fly out tangos and a second sentry, like Bound Eagle. So we want to continuously make predictions on what they're gonna do and where they're gonna go. So my guess here, we're already seeing the group together, so we have an idea. They want to get early first blood or something. Probably move this way. Unfortunately, if you don't have free cam, it's you can't draw on the map, but also it has to be like playing. I'm assuming they go like this, try to find some kills or something. But we're gonna leave it to Mirana perspective. You want Mirana in the back because you want the distance for Sacred Arrow to actually hit, and you want Sanking or Jakiro to start. They don't have any like innate mobility heroes, so Jakiro to start is fine because he can slow and then set that up into Sanking stun. And that is exactly what we see. So Clockwork's smart enough to hold a skill point, not just skill Q immediately. Sanking gets pushed back. You probably give up here. Trying to walk through this area seems incredibly difficult, because they're probably just going to get cogs again and lose more mana. So I think you just farm up these cogs, if anything. Nope, they don't do that. They don't see anyone else. They saw 2 heroes are set up already, so they back up instead. I think this is probably fine. So if we fail this gank attempt, the enemy team knows there's 3. What do? Probably just go back and secure our own rune, I guess, because they're not going to stick around. Okay, so the fact that he's starting to path south means he wants to place these wards down. I'm not sure if this is correct. Honestly, I probably shouldn't be questioning whether what a pro player is doing is correct or not, but just think about it. But a thing of note is the Clockwork did see them. I'm not sure if Clockwork was fast enough to see the Mirana and click on our items, but they could have known that they had Obs and Sentries, but it's not like this is a super unique thing or anything either. I would put the Sentry like in this little corner here to block it. That's my favorite place currently. And then I'm gonna say probably place an Obs to see if they try to deward it. We're not sure if there's a Clockwork 5, right? Because if it's Clockwork 5, you might want to Obs here, so we can see if the Clockwork like tries to walk up on us. Other option is put it as a lane ward, so if they ever get... Because they're going to be trying to play around the pool camp pretty hard, right? As a Mirana, because you want it... Or the hard camp, I shouldn't say pool camp. Because they want to deny this, have this available, so they can either air the creep or pull the wave back. And this should be especially easy when you have a Sanking who can shove the wave with his E and Sandstorm ability. Caustic against Sandstorm. So if you shove the wave under tower, then the wave is going to be bouncing back and forth. And that way, if you have a lane ward, you can see when one, like the Sven like steps up to this area, and then 2v1 while your Pulse 5 is doing something else. So a lane ward could make sense in a lane like this where you shove back and forth. And honestly, that's not something I've like ever thought about, and literally until this moment. Ways where you can bounce back and forth and force the carry further away from the area of safety. And we can take advantage of that with an OBS. But who knows? It could be here if they fear clockwork, could be over here if it's want to play towards their lane.
Wonderful.
We'll also put this back to player perspective. So actually it's behind the tower. Okay. Why do we put this here? Easier to catch if they're pulling the small camp. They also go for courier snipes. Often I'll end up putting a ward up here so you can catch all the couriers walking through this area, especially on ranged heroes or heroes that start with boots. Basically heroes that either have the mobility to catch or can, you know, auto attack the courier from range. And this accomplishes something similar, so I guess that's fine. Again, I need to stop just watching, because my like default mode, and I think what people mostly do is just watch and be like, ah, interesting. But we want to, again, take that step further of predicting what they're going to do. We have 20 seconds left until rune spawn. I don't think we can get anything out of being here, so I assume we're just going to walk back here until rune spawns. Wait for Layman's face. Basically. Cool. Okay, so again, we are the pause 4. We have a Sand King Mirana combo. We see Sven in his tower solo. So actually, full disclosure, I did watch the first like minute of this before deciding, oh, this could be very interesting YouTube content. So I kind of know what they do. They just body block all the way up to here. But what I had thought when I was first watching this is that, oh, okay, they want to execute this combo. You can't do this combo. I mean, Mirana Arrow on like Punch Hook is nice that it goes through your own creeps. But if this guy's in the middle of the creep wave, it's not going to work. So I thought Mirana would want to like go over here to this side of the tree line or over here. Over here could be fine too because these are low ability supports. So if the support steps out, they can go on the support instead of Sven. And that would be easier. You can trade because we already talked about how Mirana would like to trade with these heroes. So the option would be here or here, so you can shoot a sideways arrow. So if Sand King like burrow strikes in like this, then you can easily get an arrow here or here or here, where you don't have to worry about the creep wave. Is what I thought would happen. Instead, together they body block it really hard. I guess the further back they are, the easier it is for them to execute on this combo and get. So after they do double stun, right? They're gonna be low HP. Sven's not gonna want to turn around, or whatever hero they go on, isn't gonna want to turn around and start hitting them back. Which means the more distance they have until their safe zone, which is their tower, right? The more zone that Mirana has to get more right clicks in. So walking makes sense. But then, okay, so the creep wave's approaching. So, like, you gotta think about, like, all this thought process that's going in. Like, we're already 10 minutes in, and we're 30 seconds into the clip, and the laning phase, like, has just begun. We don't see the pause 5. Does that mean we go aggressive immediately? That's kind of what I think. The fact that he's posturing this way, you can kind of predict what he's going to do, right? He's going to go step this way. Because if he's ready to go to the right side of the trees, he would have done that now. Especially because Sven saw where Mirana is. And again, Sand King Mirana, this is a high MMR pub. They know what the enemy team's going to do. So I'm assuming Mirana's going to over here. See if she spots this pause 5 or anything. Because there's a chance the pause 5 is like coming like through here, right? And I'm trying to block the hard camp. And that could be useful to see. It's interesting too that instead of blocking the small camp, she's just keeping a sentry ward to D-ward the hard camp herself. Also, I'm realizing with all this talk, I need to walk. I already have. So I'm assuming go over here, try to find support. If not, start auto talking Sven, and just do the combo. Just do the combo. Just get damage out. He's one set for tangos. We'll force a reaction. So we're gonna watch that half speed. Instead, arrows immediately for range creep. So I saw this point, and it was at this point that I just stopped watching the replay, so I don't know anything else from this point. And I also have forgotten this happened. Why do you arrow the range creep immediately? This seems really strange to me. Because my immediate thought is, you're 2v1, right? So, like, who really cares? You should be able to secure the CS. Although I guess that's not true. I think I don't take into consideration enough like what's going to happen in 15 seconds. The support's not gonna just leave lane for the first minute, right? The support is on their way here. They're like actively on the way here, right? Yeah, we see if we click the hotkeys work. Yeah. She's on the way here, right? So we have to expect the Winter to show up immediately, which is why I thought maybe you play aggressive at this moment. But tanking level 1 is also kind of shit. So instead they go for the range creep literally immediately. What advantages does that give us? That means we have an extra creep, obviously, which means we're doing more damage to the creep wave and the creep wave is going to push. I guess if we do that, it's more likely that we can easily fight 1v1. Because what we can do is, if they like auto attack, or they don't even have to auto attack, even if they just draw aggro, right? Then our melee creeps are going to be hitting theirs while their melee creeps are following the Sand King. When this wave can push, it's easier to fight over this because we shove this in and then the Sand King and Mirana duo to secure the hard camp. That's what I think. Also, because we have Sage's Mask, we want to put this on the skill on CD immediately. You got some gold. Mirana already has a quarter coming out. So she did buy a tank. No, it's a tank. It was like I thought. Did not buy another sentry. I think because they're holding the sentry for their hard camp, that makes sense. If they'd just placed it here immediately, they could have gone for they would have bought the second sentry. In fact, we see it in their quick buy. So what do we do next? Do we air the range for you? Just auto attack Sven, I guess. Again, we're assuming the support's gonna come soon. They don't have to be afraid of a arrow combo, but if they're stunned, if like the Sven draws aggro and the Sand King stuns, then we have each of these keeps 21 damage, so it's 63 damage worth plus a 52 damage Mirana. That's decent, right? So yeah, auto attack Sven. Winter is now on their mini map, and as soon as we see Winter, Mirana starts moving away from Sven and starts auto-attacking the Winter. You already said pre-laning phase that this would be a favorable trade, right? There's a 44 damage hero. This equation changed slightly once she uses her Q. That's when she's strong. But we see Mirana trying to play around the tree line. Again, we're being reactionary. Proactive. Yeah, so we've already said if they walk over, you want to trade. If they pop the Q spell, we want to dodge it a little bit because each hit is just going to be doing max HP damage, right? What is it, level 1? 6%. Yeah, that sucks to get hit by. Well, it doesn't suck. It's a decent spell, but you know what I mean. So we're going to dance around the trees, get some auto attacks in when we can, and we're going to play around for the next arrow timing. Again, what we said, if they draw aggro like this, they might look to go on the Sven, but probably not during the Q duration. This is what it means. Aggro, he's taking hits from 2 melees, right? Is this enough of an opportunity to go on? During Arctic Burn? Apparently not. So she's just sitting back completely. Not wanting to get by Arctic Burn again. They're double pinging the range creep. Arrow is not up, but they might stun and go for this. Although we can assume they're going to use a spell, right? We got spoiled a bit. So what do we do here? I think we just auto attack Sven, right? Because we see Winter backing off. Winter doesn't have her spell anymore. Winter's a fucking creep. So auto attack Sven and start moving forward. Playing for arrow timing. This guy actually takes a few hits. I think they can just turn and stun. But I could be off base here. Let me slow down. So after that, we go back to the Winter. We know Winter has more regen than us. But if we're taking favorable trades, this should be okay. Because it's 2 sets of regen versus 2 sets of regen. Difference though is that they have tower to get behind for extra HP regen and mangoes. So I think it's just auto attack, and try to tempt the Sand King over. This is also a very slow hero in Winter. And then use arrow, maybe if need be. I don't think so. Trying to click back and forth. We also want to make space. So this is something I didn't think about, and I only became aware of it because he took a step this way. We want to secure the hard camp. So we want to see if they warded or not. By clicking the Winter, we see that Winter does have a sentry down. But we want to see if this is blocked or not. So they can play around it, get more EXP. Because getting these more EXP higher levels earlier can translate into kills down the line. But I'm surprised they're walking back. In fact, I thought you'd step forward to try to keep taking these trades. Arrows during the auto attack animation, very cool. Senki might look to come over. I think the cool part here, again, is if you use your abilities to get them low, people feel the pressure. So even though they were like willing to take this trade before, they're not anymore, which means we get more auto attacks in. So here we see Hard Camp does not spawn. So we're going to take... I keep playing Wii. I'm not sure that's correct. Whatever. So we're going to auto attack. I would want to auto attack the Winter until they're back into tower range, where trading is less efficient. We just do 0, so we can't secure the range creep. So we're going to harass them as much as we can and then go back and deward this immediately. That is my prediction. Although there's not a huge reason to deward right now because it doesn't spawn until minute 2, right? The downside of trading here as well and not using our sentry is that the small camp now exists. So if we go back to deward actually right now, that'd be really bad because the ideal pull timing is what, 11? Something like that, right? We look here. That doesn't say. So, okay, so we're not going to deward right now. So again, this is something that I hadn't thought of. So I think this is like so fucking cool how like slow-mo quarter speed watching at 1 minute speed, and I've already learned stuff and like gotten new perspective on things I've like never thought about before, and I'm like what? Rank 2000 right now? That's actually insane. It's so crazy. And then when I'm like thinking about this actively now, it's gonna be part of my game plan and part of like my standard rotation. Because like I would have gone and dewarded this camp every single time, and then just let them pull for free, and then be like, oh no, they're pulling, then act reactively. And during that whole time too, like a new wave's coming in, we can maybe take advantage of the fact that there's 6 creeps as well. So okay, so instead we're gonna play aggressive here. Don't let them pull because we have a ward watching that, and then maybe finally do some combo when the Winter goes over here to try to pull, or when the Winter goes to check if they have a small camp to deal with. Although they probably won't pull either. But okay, alright, that's enough in this moment. Let's go and see what happens. We did just use arrow. Can we get another auto attack in? Didn't realize how slow Mirana is too. We only have a 5 move speed advantage. So be careful, they're getting close to tower range, so they can't do anything. This guy's stepping forward. We have our creeps as a buffer, so we can get free auto attack in. Again, just watching Winter. I think we're outside of range, so we could queue an attack command on Winter. Let's go to player perspective so we can see where their mouse is. Because I think that's very important for when they're like making auto attacks. So at this point, we can kind of assume that they're not going to be able to get the pull off. We still have a creep advantage, so I kind of want to push that, but they don't have no arrow for 8 seconds. So what do I do? Again, literally only 7 seconds has passed, but like the state of the game in Dota 2 at these highest levels is changing so frequently. It's all the time. All these like micro movements around here, they all matter. And me, I'm not aware of all these. Like honestly, I don't know like what is best and when, and that's why I'm trying to learn. So yeah, interesting thing there, we wait until the Sand King drew aggro here. So there's an internal timer on the aggro. So we knew if we issued an attack command, the creeps are not going to run towards us. Like it's a free auto attack on Winter. And again, you think like, oh, there's one attack here, one attack there, whatever. Like, how much difference does it make? Well, that was 38 damage, right? Another way to look at Winter's health is, Winter right now is 11 auto attacks away. They were at 12 before. We just did like 10%-ish of their health. Not exactly, but they're like one step closer. Like, you do that 10 more times. This is only a minute, right? This is going to turn into a kill. And that's assuming we just auto-attacked him to death. And we have stuns available and whatnot. Because he drew aggro like this, and the Sven is currently taking a bunch of hits here, I want my Sand King to stun for us to hit. I think we change perspective to hit Sven here. Right. So we get the auto, and then we walk out of aggro range. And then I think we look to get aggressive again. Like this constant little dance back and forth. This makes a difference. Because it's these like just several dozen range around your hero and these micro positioning things that do matter. There's a difference between these creeps starting to run at the Mirana and getting a free auto attack on. They stun. Now they have creeps hitting us, and we don't have the advantage of the creeps hitting them. And it's hard to arrow right now, right? Because there's creeps in the way. Feels bad though. The Sanking hasn't used any mana a minute into the lane. We have. Of course we have Sage's Master getting the mana back, but we just keep auto-attacking Sven. Because at some point Sven's gonna have to stop committing and turn around, and we get free auto-attacks during that point. That's what I think. So you know, auto. Be a little careful. There I go. Oh, interesting. Okay, so usually I'd say it feels bad to draw aggro like this, but because they drew aggro and pull the creeps to the left here, there's now no longer any creeps protecting the Sven. So now you can... Okay. So was that intentional? Because I think it's something we haven't been doing either is rewinding. So when the Sven went aggro, did we intentionally draw the creeps away in order to get this stun? And like kind of bait them into a worse position where we can actually get the combo done? Attack on Sven. I don't think it's intentional. I think we're primarily looking to get the auto attacks on Sven. See, because even here, if the arrow was the objective... Well, we got an auto attack in, and then he immediately moves north in order to make sure he has a clear line. Stun, stun. It's free autos. This guy's not going to react, which is fine. Again, we're just talking about what we're saying. So we're just going to keep auto-attacking this guy, right? Are we afraid of them even if we're 2v1? We have our own creep wave coming, and their creep wave is going to get stopped by this melee creep for a little bit. Which means, I don't think I care. I'm level 1, but I think I'm going to continue hitting... Sven? Well, realistically, we're not killing Sven, right? Well, could we get 4 or 5 auto attacks in? They have 22 armor reduction. So this is probably 5-6 autos. Maybe just 5. Because 4 would be 20. Yeah, let's say like 5 auto attacks. We get 5 auto attacks by the time it gets here to here. Because my only thought is that we know the Winter Wyvern has Salve, right? So they're going to heal right up. Although Salve's only what, 300 health? 400 health? Okay, so they've lost more than 400 health, so all the auto attacks are going to be there still. But I can see an argument then for hitting Winter instead. No. We keep hitting Sven. Okay, I was wrong. There's actually no chance that we get this kill, it seems. Even though we have 2 creeps here. Because it's interesting to think about, right? These 2 creeps do only 2 less damage than Winter Wyvern does. Only difference between, well, damage-wise, right? DPS may be different because of the attack frequency of the melee creeps and the fact that they're going to have to be running after Winter. So we actually don't go for it. We get 1 more auto attack in, and then we're valuing our own HP. So if we're doing that, we made this a little aggressive play. We don't stun for 10 seconds. We don't have air for 15. What do we do now? We have creep wave advantage. I'd either like try to de-aggro this creep and then move left here and try to auto attack the Winter, or we finally go and de-ward the hard camp. Okay, creep got de-aggroed. Because we got de-aggroed, we can move towards Winter, preferably without auto-attacking. Because if we right-click them, then this creep's gonna get mad at us. Yeah, see, so we drew aggro. Creep got pulled towards us. But because they drew aggro, maybe get another right-click off. Rartai's getting hits on the creep. Unfortunate. Okay. Arrow's coming off cooldown. Sanking is a little afraid, but he has stun up now. God, I need to pause more often. So again, now we're looking to play potentially aggressive again. Because 1-2 combo, they haven't healed up on the Sven. The Sven can just die. Winter has popped Q, so we have to be a little bit concerned about them pushing us back. So we're going to go back to playing around this tree line here. Or maybe over here, so if Sanking walks this way, to try to stun, we have a direct line. Also, we want to kill these creeps so we can hit level 2, so it's easier for us to reposition. Okay, back over here, play around the tree line to fuck with Winter. Eats that tree, which gives them a line of sight. Oh, interesting. Okay. Again, we have to pause frequently because the state of the game changes constantly. And we have to be constantly aware of these. Because sometimes you have only a split second to like jump on an opportunity and get kills that you wouldn't have if you waited a second to half a second. Dota's a game of these smallest moments, and I think it's so fucking cool. Especially if you can learn to capitalize on these and create these smallest opportunities. Like, these small opportunities are the difference between me and, well, Aloha Dance. So, this is a 1,000 MMR difference. These small things. So we can wait out Arctic Burn now. Sal's going off, which tempts me to walk forward to try to hit this guy. We know Sven has stun up, which is, again, not something I would have thought about, but something I'm aware of because I'm watching it in free cam and I can see everything. I have the God's view. Am I willing to take a stun to cancel the salve? Absolutely. The only downside is that we want level 2. So the chance that we like walk up this way. I like that I keep saying we're like projecting on this Mirana really hard. But we walk up over here, arrow the range creep to hit level 2 when we get the chance, and try to auto attack this guy. So this goes fast. Also, we could aggressively posture just to make Sven want to back up, in which case, this guy's posturing way too aggressively right now. Like, I think this could be... We might want to go trade and have the Sand King moving closer. Instead of just playing Fog during Arctic Burn. Arctic Burn.
You are a true friend.
Now, is getting an auto when we see the winter is going on the Sand King. I'm not sure how much player perspective. I think I keep being free cam. See more. Now this is over, so we want to go turn. We are now taking favorable trades. In fact, we need to arrow this way, and even if it misses, we hit the range creep. That's one free auto off. Because they went for that Q attack, they have creeps running after it, so we know there's no chance that Winter can run after us. So we're going to try to auto attack again. And then maybe combo with the Sand King, who we know has stun up again as the Winter's backing up. Accidentally draw aggro. That's okay though. Gets one free auto attack on the Sven, but Tango's already running and the salve's complete, so I'm not sure if that's worth. Okay, we have not yet dewarded this camp. If we wait much longer, we're not going to be able to get the creep camp this wave. This might be fine though, because we want to be playing aggressive. If we're a combo like this, I think maybe we play over the camp harder if it's not a lane we're super confident in. Think of note as well. Sven's hit level 2. Level 2 means suddenly they have 60 more health out of nowhere. Another 3.2 damage. 0.1 HP regen. These are little things, but you gotta keep them in mind. And like a third of an armor. Something like that. So we went from 12% to 13% or something. Or no, we were looking at something else earlier, right? We were looking at Winter's armor. I swear this was 22% before. Ah, there it is. So we're from 22 to 23. Not a huge difference, but something. More importantly, Sven doesn't have his level 2 power spike because he takes cleave. But we're lacking our own level 2 power spike between leap being able to move. So we have to play a little bit careful. Might arrow this creep. We'll see. Reposition. Again, I think especially because Sand King is low when I arrow this creep. Because he's not going to be able to secure it. And if they body block, they can just auto attack the Winter? Okay. He only has one auto in. He like took half a step back because his fun started moving forward. Not sure if that's correct. Again, we shouldn't be going at the frame of is this correct? It's why. We want to get behind the thought process, not figuring out like what's objectively best here. So, okay. Again, it's another new minute marker, so we have to go through the same thought process. They have a camp, yes, so they can pull in the next 15 seconds. Let's see if they're willing to do that or not. We just arrowed, so we can't do much, but we might have to secure this range creep on our own. So I'm going to think we posture over here, so we have a creep wave buffering us, and we get rid of this melee creep. Get autos and Sven and try to secure this range creep. Similar idea. I think I'm not taking the fact that it's like slower speed. So instead we focus on getting an auto attack in rather than positioning correctly. I guess. Follow the range creep. They're casting a spell. We're backing up. We have 10 seconds. Now, just because he's stepping here, do we play this side of the lane? Do we just like bounce between which side of the lane the winter is? I think we want to match the winter. There's also a thought I haven't had, because often I'll end up just playing the same place. We can either match the winter because we know we take better trades versus her. And the winter's out of regen. I didn't think about that because she used the salve on her carry. So you can match the winter and try to trade, or we can play for the camp. But again, 2 minute, we haven't dewarded it, so we know this camp still doesn't spawn. So we're not going to play around this until like 240, I think. So we play right side and try to attack the winter. There are a couple autos. Not similar ideas. Sven's still in the creep waves, so I'll attack Sven. Why didn't we step down here? Is that too scary? They stun into bullshits. Maybe walking here is too far away from where the Sand King's playing. Okay, I thought we would continue playing here, but it looks like this mirroring idea is kind of on point. So mirror where the winter is and try to get more autos in. I didn't think about items that we're buying. We got more. We got a salve. I guess this is for Sand King, because Sand King wants to save gold to the Vanguard. That's cool. They want to play over the CS. We know Sven's probably going to stun it. He's stunned it like every single wave thus far. But just because we know that's what they want to do, doesn't mean we don't want to force it. Because Sven, this top takes a shit ton of mana. So we still want to play up on this. And because Winter is low, Winter's afraid of stepping forward, we want to like 2v1 the carry. Wait for the CS. They're pinging it. It's stunned, and because other creeps are low, they just die and they can't play aggressive. Again, we've mirrored the support, so we want us to trade. We get one more auto attack in, then we have to run. We know there's no stun, so Sven's just gonna walk at us. Which isn't super scary, but they do have a move speed advantage. Holy shit, they have a move speed advantage. Of 35. It's almost boots. More than Windlace, right? So try to get one more auto attack in. The downside of like when you have to disengage though is that while this is favorable when we have one more armor and another and better base damage, this gets worse if they get even a single more auto attack in. Because then it's like they have a DD rune. So yeah. Winter pops Q. I wasn't even thinking about that. We immediately leap away to not take the damage. Very cool. Now what? Again, this guy is so low. We're gonna have to salve up the Sand King. So I think we're probably just gonna continue to just arrow this. Although the winter's very low, so who's to say? Also, something I didn't... Actually, was this the eyeball or was there a courier there? It was just the eyeball. Okay, so now that they get aggressive, when... Okay. Wait, that's really cool. So we go back and see how this got set up. So we have to play back. There's always this like back and forth, right? So we have to play back when they have more creeps, but it means our creep wave is coming and this creep wave is weaker. See, well, the interesting part is like we can predict what's going to happen, and once we know what's going to happen, we're going to see, oh, what are the preconditions that led to this thing? So now they want to use a thing. They're using leap away, the further away. Now, what is the conditions that make them want to go here? Winter's thing is ending. This does not last a very long time, early levels. This creep wave is dying. We haven't taken level 2. If he took Caustic, it would make even more sense. Oh, he did! Okay, so he takes Caustic to clear his waves faster. Okay, so because the creeps are low, and we knew we can clear them out on Sand King, they took Caustic, clear them out so we can combo, and there's no creeps to run in the direction of the arrow. That is sick. That is sick. So now they ping, they can go. Now this is decent damage, right? This is 450. How much HP did he have beforehand? From like full? So this did 400 damage. So 2 of these would kill him. So it makes him nervous. They have this creep's advantage. Now what? Okay, so we know a creep wave's coming. We know Sven's very low resources. Winter's very low resources. So I think we're going to walk over here and try to play aggressive. Or do we finally deward? We have a 10-second downtime, right? Which would I do? I would definitely play greedier, but I don't think this is necessary. I guess the sentries are also for lane with Sand King. I didn't even think about that. I think we'll keep playing aggro. We know Arctic Burn's down. So like in theory we could be up here and just auto attacking. So, oh, we saw the courier. We saw 2 couriers. Wait. Did he see both? I didn't see those. Okay, we saw one there and we saw the glimpse of the other. So this guy just has way better map. Me with time pause is worst fucking map awareness than this guy's. I mean, I think I'm also looking at the micro things, but it shows how like they're doing all these things that I'm like putting active brain power into. So that auto attack there might reveal that they have a ward because it's like around the tree line. I think it's fun. So that play right there just gave his entire team 300 gold. That's insane. Wait. Am I doing math right? 30 gold times 5 times 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. Yeah, 300 gold from the entire team. Okay. For some reason, my brain wanted to multiply by 5 again. I'm like, wait, no, that's wrong. Okay. Now seems like a pretty opportune time to clear the creep wave. But actually, this is back up. We know they have no heals. Winter has bought more things. The other upside of playing these aggressive lanes, if you have a courier sniping ward. Okay, so that's not something I thought about. So, yes, if we have vision here, we know when they step up, when they play aggressive. Thing of note, however, this is daytime, so where you have great vision of them, right? Like, this is dire vision right now. We see all the way back here. Like, we're gonna see them constantly, so we don't have to worry. Like, we can figure out when they're walking up towards. I don't think it's right, actually. This is insane vision. The fuck? You can see so much, actually. I hadn't thought about that. Look at this circle. In which case, if you want to play in an aggressive lane, if you're able to snipe couriers and snipe regen, it makes it even harder for them to play. The idea. Okay. You know they can't go near the creep wave because it's caustic. We saw the clarity pop, so maybe we want to go cancel the clarity. No. Okay, so we kind of end up walking back and forth. Is that right? I mean, it's not like this guy's perfect either. Snipe couriers. I feel like I would start dewarding immediately. We see the winter all the way back here. We have a creep wave disadvantage, but I can turn really quickly with caustic. I would like to start committing to dewarding this while keeping an eye. Although we would have to be closer for the arrow to be secured with only level 1 bro strikes. So that might be the reason. If Sand King was level 3, better. But like now, again, this is just blocked until minute 4. Again, because we've mirrored the winter, and this is a lane where we trade better. I'm gonna keep following and try and take better trades. If the winter ever turns to right click, you can take advantage of the opportunity to arrow. If not, winter is low. Arctic Burn, do we just jump away? The creep wave is pushing here. There's nothing to pull here. I think we just run. Okay, so we can auto attack while he's hitting someone else. But I think the difference was when the winter was here and auto attacking us directly is when we want to leap away. Okay. This is getting quite long. This is 40 minutes in, and we're 3 minutes into the game. So I might call it here. This might be just like a little tidbit or an example of like what you can do in your own games and try to improve. So like the next steps I would take is, well, I'm unfortunate enough that I recorded this, right? So I'm gonna go back, rewatch, re-listen, list these things out, and think, and make a little spreadsheet or just a little notepad, right? And I'm gonna put it. I'm fortunate enough to have 3 monitors. And I play Dota in windowed mode. So I have little room around the edges of my Dota. So like I can put a little spreadsheet there or a little notepad and put the things that I would want to improve on. Which is what? Tangibly, there's so many little things of like mirroring the support, when to fog, when to go back, when to go on them, and thinking about pull timers. Like, this is a fair amount I've learned. And then the next step after that would be, well, I'm focused on Mirana, right? We want to limit the number of factors we have. We're gonna go look at a different game, maybe a game where we lost, or just a lane where he's playing versus. Well, I'd want to watch two more. I'd want to watch one in a lane where he trades favorably versus support and see if he does similar things or if there's other similarities we notice. And then two, we want to watch a game when he's against support he can't trade versus. So like a Bane or something like that, right? Something that has a high, better stats, better spells to trade with, right? Silencer even. And see, does that change? Does that make sure we play on opposite sides from the support? Because there are things I don't think about, especially as I often play melee supports. And then that could be another thing I can work on and look for. So I think that's really cool. I'm gonna call it here. You're gonna watch this stuff. I'm not sure if I'll be doing it on stream, but I might do more of these if it's well received. There's also small concepts here and there of like when to auto attack and when trades are favorable, or like how to harass effectively. So if you're interested in that type of thing, I might turn that into a video, which who knows, I might end up linking. But otherwise, thanks for those who stayed with the journey. Hopefully you learned a thing or two, and it's actually wild just like how complicated this game is, how we can turn literally just 3.5 minutes of gameplay into 40 minutes of analysis. So yeah. Thanks again. And this, we could also think about a lane where we don't play for lane as much and we rotate more. See, like, there's things that like constantly come up when we're thinking about these. But whatever. Okay, outro. Bye, I guess.